Diablo 4 just had some massive news. We also had one of the biggest rumors to date that might actually be confirmed, and some new tools that just got released for both your endgame and current builds. We got a lot to talk about. What's up, World Streamer? Back in the video, we're checking out all things Diablo 4. Okay, so there's a massive feature that was in Diablo 3 and currently not in Diablo 4. Again, a lot of this stuff is pretty disappointing to hear that Diablo 3 had so many quality of life features that didn't make it into Diablo 4. It's understandable from a perspective of development. However, at the rate that it currently is, it honestly showcases that either Diablo 4 was restarted several times, or that they just did not get this done in 10 years' time. Having a hard time believe that, but there's just so many quality of life features that are missing from this game that really should be there, and it's pretty obvious that Diablo 4 was definitely released a little too early. However, what is this feature that I'm talking about? This is the rebirth feature from Diablo 3. Now here's the major issue with Eternal Realms and the new seasons. Currently we only have 10 character slots. Now hopefully they aren't selling us character slots, but increasing them with each season. Because as of right now, if you have one of each class, or at least you have like a bunch of different classes, one in hardcore, some in softcore, you're only going to be able to make 10 different classes. So if you go for each season and you make another class, or if you have to make another character for each season, you're eventually going to run out of space, especially for people that have more than one character or have multiple characters. Well, Diablo 3 had a feature that was in the game that completely alleviated this, and that is the rebirth feature. And instead of making you create a new character every season, they allowed you to do something called rebirth, which essentially allowed you to transform a non-season character and turn them into a seasonal one. And then after the rebirth ends, the non-seasonal character would revert back to level 1, which would allow you to only use that one character slot. Now we did have a respond here from Adam Fletcher, who said that obviously rebirth isn't a feature in Diablo 4 yet, but we've heard this request a bunch, so the team is aware. To me, it's kind of amazing that previous quality of life stuff is some sort of a request feature. I think people just expect it to be in the newest updated title and the newest updated game, which you can't really blame them for expecting a feature that was really praised in the previous game to not even be there in the current game. So it's less so of a request and more so of it's just missing from the game. Especially a massive quality of life feature like this when we only have 10 character slots. It just doesn't coincide with anything. I know that Adam's response is very genuine here, and he's obviously just trying to keep things in check. Also, of course, him saying yet is implying that Diablo 4 might get its own version of Rebirth one day, but of course that is just pure speculation. It's just honestly surprising that they feel that this is a requested feature when it was literally in the previous game. It'd be a requested feature if the feature was not in any current version or any previous version of their games. That's a requested feature. If it's already in your previous games and you didn't bring the quality of life feature to your newer game, then that's not a requested feature. You're just missing quality of life features that you had in your previous game. This definitely to me sounds like something 343 would put out with Halo, and it's a bit concerning, but it's clear that the Diablo team is very passionate about the game. The game was probably just released a little bit too early. We did also have those developers saying to take a break and go play something else if you run out of content. I don't think that's the answer for people, especially when people are running out of content within a week, but it is what it is. Now, we do have that massive leak that happened, and it is pretty massive, because right before release, people thought that this might be a possibility. However, we had some updates there that essentially kind of canned the deal. However, that deal isn't fully canned. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Microsoft and Activision deal, or the Microsoft of them buying out Activision. And a lot of people thought that Diablo 4 was going to be coming to Game Pass. However, what we ended up finding out is that the deal got delayed because of some FTC stuff and some CMA stuff that declined their deal and a bunch of stuff around that. However, the deal seems like it might be going through at this point with the CMA just being left out. And that might lead to it being on Game Pass. But not only might it lead to being on Game Pass, we actually do have an image here that showcases some pretty serious stuff. And essentially, the Brazilian payment app PicPay accidentally leaked a banner which showcased that Diablo 4 is on Game Pass. Now, of course, it currently isn't on Game Pass right now, but the translation does say available now, get it now, or play it through Game Pass. The app is an official retailer for gift cards in Brazil, so this definitely should be taken very seriously as it is an official retailer that would have got subjected to this image. Now, this might necessarily be a placeholder and it might have been developed way before, we do not know. However, it really does showcase that Microsoft is all in with this, and it might even show that Microsoft will eventually put Diablo 4 on Game Pass as soon as the deal goes through. Could even be the day of that this gets put on Game Pass, which is kind of crazy to think. The numbers will definitely increase and will definitely be big, especially if they can get this out for Season 1. I really do think this will help the game's population, as we are noticing dwindling numbers on Twitch. I'm also noticing dwindling numbers on my videos and impressions, although I have seen other big YouTubers still hold or even do better. However, the overall scope of things, the numbers have definitely decreased, the population has decreased, the Twitch viewership has decreased, YouTube viewership has decreased, and I just don't know if what they showed off for Season 1 is going to bring a lot of people back. It might bring most or some people back. However, if this game does get it on Game Pass, this is going to open up a whole new realm for people, and a lot more people will be playing the game. So I definitely hope this is out by Season 1, although the Microsoft deal would have to go through by then, and it is pretty close to either going through or getting delayed again. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Now, Hardcore just had its world first Tier 100 Nightmare clear. And this is by someone named Al Allen, who of course is a necromancer. Still a great accomplishment, and this is something really sketchy and very scary. Everything is basically a one-shot in there, and so if you're doing it on hardcore, that's pretty intense. They did actually do it in a duo run, so it is Al Allen and Rise. And it looks like Rise is also playing a necromancer, so just two of the best class in the game going into a nightmare dungeon. Still a great achievement that is very intense for hardcore, and they also did it with only 11 days to the new season. Now, we did have some new tools that got released, and these are actually really big. We also have one that's in the works that isn't just out yet, and that's actually a group finding tool, which I really hope this is out by Season 1. I'm not a big fan of grouping through Discord. I really don't enjoy it. Every time I've tried to do it, the people there are just, yeah, they're a little much. Especially compared to like Xbox LFG or even like an in-game LFG, which is a lot smoother in my opinion than it is for Discord. Just not the crowd that I want to be around usually. Of course, I would hope for like an in-game group finder tool, but if this is the best that we can get, I will definitely take it. Now, this is just a prototype so far, as they want to gauge interest in the tool, and I'm sure they probably don't want to put hundreds of hours into this thing and people don't use it. Although I would definitely use this, and it looks really cool, so I really do hope they keep working on it. Wanted to promote it more so that they can get some interest here and maybe check out their Discord. I'll have a link down below to their Discord in this post, so you guys can go upvote it and talk and chat and that stuff. But yeah, I really do think that this would be incredible for us if we do have this type of LFG tool to use. Now, there's also another tool that was used, which is for the craft, and this really helps you for crafting stuff and expected coins and how many tries it's going to take you to achieve certain things. This would have helped me a ton. Luckily, I had a kind of cap at like 3 to 4 million gold. After my pieces got to 3 or 4 million gold of re-roll traits, I ended up just not re-rolling it again and kind of just kept the piece as it was and waited for a new one. However, this tool would have been so nice to use back then, so this is awesome, and I will leave a link down below for this one as well. There's also things like unique drop chances and even a recipe database as well as an item database. So yeah, this is a really good one. I'll leave this one down below too. This is d4craft.com. Really good to check out. Last up here, very quickly, Adam did say that the Hoda is being looked at, as there's a lot of abuse in PvP right now. Haven't done much of PvP to comment on this, so I don't know how that was. Hopefully that's fixed sometime soon. It looks like that's a pretty big exploit, and people are using it quite frequently. But that's just about cover for today's video. If you like it, and subscribe. Until the next one. Deuces.